Right, both of us. Yeah, but we was talking like,
excuse me.
yeah, we was talking like it probably ain't been because he just reminded me that he left the shrine in 15, and that, not long before it closed. But that probably was the last time I might have seen him in face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, man. We used to kick it up in there, man. It was great times, a lot of dope shows,
Right.
Uh,
It was a dope
it, it's
time,
a
man.
it's a void in the city. I feel since I mean, there's nothing happening now, so there's like 50,000 voids now. But like
Right.
when pre-pandemic, you really like it's one of them you never miss a water till it's gone type deal. I know a lot of people didn't like that spot, uh, and then like. Uh, But then those very same people were coming to me and be like, man, I miss him. You can't call them on it and be like, man, he was telling you you hated that damn motherfucking place. And they be like, people don't like to be called out, man. So you just be like, okay, cool, man. I know, man. It's fucked up, right? I did it with it's fucked up, right? Yeah, man. So it's a void though, man. I tried to get Doom at the shrine. That's when I found out he was deported.
Oh.
Right. So
Yeah.
what
I
was
mean, I
that?
got
Probably
dope,
about
man.
10? Was that probably about 2010,
I
2009?
I think that's when he got. I'm not sure on the timeline when he got deported, but I tried to book him around 12 or 13, and
Okay.
Sang like told me because Sang was the only cat that I know of ever booked him here in Chicago. So Sang
Okay.
like was telling me, man, I went Sang was like, man, I'm trying to get Doom, and he was like, man, first of all, his price is crazy at this time. His asking fee. He said, and to be honest with you, he said like, I don't even think you could get him here anyway. He said like he's deported. He finally just kind of came clean with me and was like, he's deported, and I was like, damn. And I didn't really ever tell nobody that, but it was like I was like, I was just kind of like crestfallen because I was like, outside of some personal trying to book him, I was just like, damn, he gonna be here. And then, obviously I thought they probably lifted, but man, brothers, they be like, shit. They don't be
Oh
playing
yeah.
with brothers when you do that shit. Slick Rick was battling that shit
So
too, like
you
that.
remember how hard it was for Slick Rick? Like Slick Rick, didn't he go through some
Dude,
similar shit?
yeah. I mean, when I booked him, he was dealing with it at that time. Like, they come clean with me and tell me, man, like half of his artist fee would be going to legal fees and shit, So that was kind of, man, that was stressing me out. I don't know how much he was paying the legal fees, but man, it ain't cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
Dave Kids invading this space right now, so you gotta straighten himself up for a second. But we still
All
good.
good. All good. We all going space. That's why
Yeah.
I asked you, could you hear me? Because sometimes my shit be like space cadet not.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah. Question. Hey,
well,
Green.
I'll say
Yeah.
let me set everything up, man. I know I
Okay.
did the thing where we regularly just drop in when we start
Yeah.
these, but
Yeah,
I
I see
try
the
to
chat.
be a little professional.
My cat had to be like in on this, so that's my concierge. His
Okay.
name is That's Tucson. So he ain't gonna talk to y'all, but he
Tucson,
here for it. Yeah, Tucson here for it though.
what's up? You should have left your girl. She could have saw the kitty.
Yeah, I don't know. She's been climbing. She moves a lot more than Tucson does.
Yeah. He
Tucson.
actually he's a
Yeah,
little
I
old.
know.
He's a little older. He's like 14. But he moves too, man. But boy, when there's some shit like this going on, for some reason he be here for it.
You want to see what's
Yeah.
going on.
He always here for it, man. When I'm
But
I'm
yeah,
in the man cave, he wanna know what's up.
No doubt. That's a good buddy, man. I'm not much of a pet person, but you know, if the pet is laid back like that, I could at least stay in the room with him for a little while, you know.
That's all good.
Like if I'm visiting someone, like if I'm visiting you or Tucson is just there chilling, you know, I could chill with them. But some of them pets be just be too much for me, man. They get wild.
If you're in the house with them, man, you're gonna have to have it that way when you up in because they feel it's their crib. Anyone can attest, like so they gotta have it that way anyway.
About like
yeah.
That's that cats move about. They don't, you know. Yeah,
it's their world. Box down here, man. I got 3 litter boxes in the house. We got one down here.
It'll just drop wherever it want to drop. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, in the litter box, he better shit. But like, I know we ain't making this about him. I'm just letting y'all know he here if you don't mind. Because if I try to move him, he'll come right back.
Let me give you an official introduction. We gave Toussaint the introduction, but of course, if you can see on the screen, our special guest for this special episode of In the Building is one and only Mr. Greenweedz, what you say, man, an underground MC legend in the city, man, a host extraordinaire, a guy who, really is just nobody has any bad words about, man, because he treats everybody with love and respect. And he definitely did that for me and Dave at a point when nobody knew who he was and gave a damn who he was when we was trying to get out on the scene and stuff. And we'll talk a little bit about that later, man. Talk a little bit of, catch up with you and stuff as well, because like we were saying before we just got on, it's been too long since we've sat and build with you. But what I really want to do here, first off, to kick it off, is just do a little retrospective on MF Doom, a little special thing. Yeah. I was planning for our regular show, which we did yesterday, to pretty much just be about Doom. But, I felt inclined to talk about what happened in DC after madness yesterday, But we said our piece on that, and I want to make sure I remember this dude MF Doom, who is just really a substantial artist in my life, and a guy who really I've listened to him for hundreds, if not thousands, of hours, and really just was amazed.
Haven't we all, bro?
Really, influenced by his movement and what he did, man, and when the news of his death broke, just looking up and down on social media and stuff, having the fortunate ability to be connected to a lot of artists and stuff like Greenweedz, I got to see some interesting stories and perspectives, and one of the ones that jumped out the most was what you were saying, man, about how for a moment you've had a couple moments with Doom. You hosted like 2 of his shows. Are those like the only 2 shows he's had as Doom that he's actually appeared in Chicago?
Okay, so one show I hosted at the Metro. That was the first one, and the second one I actually performed with him. Not with him, but it was Doom and Jizza, and Doom closed, and I was the
that was at Abbey.
Yep. And I had just actually that night, that was the same day Richard Pryor had passed away.
Oh wow.
I don't know if y'all remember that, but me and my boy was talking about that. He performed with me that night, and he was like, I said, man, that was the night Richard Pryor had passed away. So I was pretty like down in the dumps about that, because Rich was like, for all intents and purposes, like an MC to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this ain't about Rich, but that was kind of what the night was like, right? And so it was kind of a rainy, March-ish type. I remember it being super rainy that night, and So those 2 shows, and those are the 2 shows, to my knowledge, that he's ever been here. I can't remember him ever coming through here as KMD. That was the group wasn't even, it's kind of short lived anyway. But yeah, I think those are the only 2 times, because I know Sang was the only. I think Sang was the only promoter. I mean, Domingo worked with Sang, but I think they were the only 2 promoters that brought Doom here. Shout out to Sang too, man, because he really always, like, I might be putting the cart before the horse, and if I am, just tell me, hey, Green, we're gonna get to that part. But shout out to Sang, because like he really would like put me on to all the shows, like, meaning put me on them. Like, he would just put me on them, like, yeah, DJ, and at that point, DJ and Tail was my DJ. I said, well, fuck it, I can curse on here, right?
Oh yeah, you good.
Okay. So like DJ and Tail.
Ain't got no sponsors.
Okay, well shit, let's go for it. Shit, fuck goddamn. So like DJ and Tail, he was always DJing hits. So me and him started building a rapport. And it would be fun because I would tell him before the hit, hey man, make an ass out of me if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, say some crazy shit to me, because people like that kind of shit. So I was always like into that, like, and then I just started making him my working DJ. So he would perform with me, and he's super dope still. And yeah, so yep, those are the times I rock with. Other times,
Dave, I say Dave used to follow Intel exclusively.
Well, yeah, I mean, I mean, I haven't seen Intel. I've seen Greenweedz before, since more recently than I've even seen Intel's. But yeah, it's been But at one time,
Intel was over there at Untitled, the DJ music director. I hope you don't want to kill him or no shit like that. And I'm just kind of blowing him up as to where he is. Niggas in Chicago be like, he's super cool with me. And the next thing you know, they want to fucking motherfucker up and shit. I'm always paranoid of that. I'm from the West Side. That's the West Side. So anyway, he does work. Man, he does work over at he was, at least last I've seen him before the pandemic. He was at Untitled. He was the DJ music director over there. So he was doing good for stuff.
Yeah, so that's over there on the River North, ain't it?
Yeah,
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
You cool?
Go ahead though. Go ahead.
You was cool in there like that, huh? Yeah,
I was a fan. I mean, it was a challenge to find quality DJs sometimes. So yeah, I followed him for a bit.
He's dope, man. I mean, like, first of all, he knew everything. So the DJ, to me, is always, really like kind of defined to me what the DJ was, which, by the way, the DJ has always been important to me. But like, y'all, Doug Infinite, right? Y'all familiar with Doug, right? Doug Infinite.
Oh yeah. Back from the
so
old
Doug,
common stuff and everything.
Yep. No ID. So Doug was like telling me, me and Doug are like, we're brothers. Like, he is definitely in the top 3 closest people to me in Chicago, besides like musicians. And like, when I go to San Francisco, I stay with him and his family, like 95% of the time. So like, he was just telling me how important the DJ is. He said, man, if you want to know if your record is super dope, Tom B. Number was always like this too, but he never explained it to me like this. But he was like, the DJ will let you know, and the DJ, if he worth his salt, knows everything. Like, that is your help desk. The DJ is the one who's gonna put your record on, and it still holds true. Like, when I was at that piece of advice helped me as I was at the Shrine, because then it got me to really, like, I needed that too, by the way, like that little nugget, because then it like let me know, like, working with and I know we talking about Doom, and I tend to stray, so I'm straying too much. Just pull me right back.
I'll try to really, I love what you said, man. I love what you said.
So like he was always saying how important the DJ is because they can like really navigate where just what song is dope. Like they know when they on the dance floor, right? A good DJ it turns you on to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, a good DJ also knows how to keep people on the floor. But really, to be honest with you, anyone could do that. I mean, shit, all you got to do is listen to the radio for 4 days and then just be like, all right. And depending on the gig you're doing, just say, all right, I know what's hot. And I'm going to put this on the floor. And what I mean by what's hot, what everybody likes, right? You want to do, that kind of shit. But if you really want to, like, dictate terms and really be a real DJ, it's never played out to, like, just make to kind of mess with people's head a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Put a little, what they call that sleight of hand a little bit, like, window dressing. You could just be like, all right, I'm gonna throw this tune in there. He or she ain't heard this in a while. I'm gonna throw this on here, kind of get them to recollect. Yeah, I don't want like everyone to leave the floor. Like, say if it's 200 people on the floor, when we ever get back to that, I don't want to like have 200 people on the floor and then decimate it to like 40. But I do want it. I want to give people a break to kind of sizzle, but still have that good vibe. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm gonna go get my drink right now. But really, I don't want to go get my drink right now because I'm turned on right now by this DJ. So that's a real dope DJ to me, and that's Intel in a nutshell. That might be the only rhyme y'all get from me tonight, but like that's Intel. I mean, we
appreciate you just giving off a rhyme with Greenweedz, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime for y'all. You want it again? I got the Mr. Cup right here for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
A cup of coffee, the chat.
It's interesting though. You kind of speak to something that's sort of mystical, or something that's
you look like a picture, don't you? He ain't moving. Sorry, man. Go ahead. I'm not high. I'm really sober talking about.
Okay, I was wondering for a second, but that's cool. Either way, it's cool.
I took a fast, but that's a whole nother thing.
Okay. But I was just saying, you speak to somebody like the sort of push and pull thing, this sort of mystical underpinnings that something like a DJ could have to control, a party, control the individuals in the party and stuff. And I was just, I guess sort of tying that into Doom. Like Doom wasn't a DJ, but he was a beat maker. And as a musician, do you feel that, as an MC, do you feel that that's a certain thing that you need to have too? Is like, and what do you think about the way that an MF Doom was able to maybe mysticize what he did and because there was a lot of myth building and storytelling involved in what he did, not only in just his individual projects, but over the course of his career. And there was a mysticism that was made with him and a myth making that was involved with him. So I guess it just combining all that. Like, what do you attribute that to? His ability and his legend as an MC and as a performer and entertainer.
Yeah, so even I'm gonna say a lot of things. So even though like Doom was a genius, but even though like, and there's no however to that, even though like he was on some like, well, I'm wearing the mask because I don't want you to judge me or size me up, or say, look at this dude, or he's a pretty boy, or this nigga's ugly, or any of that. As much as he was like trying to make this into this like blank silhouette thing going, what he also did was that brought you to him, right? Because what he I think it's very conscious what he did, even though it was very organic at the same time. And sometimes people sleep on how you can kind of accomplish both of those. You can accomplish being organic, and you can still accomplish like kind of thinking through what you're trying to succeed in doing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And what he did was like he had that metal face, and he had all those personas, and that people into him. So what he created was drama, right? You can call it whatever you want, but I call it drama because drama can set moods for you. You know what I'm saying? Like drama can like I remember I was reading Michael. I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. I remember I was reading Michael Jackson's book, and Michael Jackson's autobiography was always saying, "Man, I always was looking for the drama in my songs. Dirty Diana, Billie Jean, Thriller. You know what I'm saying? He was like bad, heated, want drama, and that's what every great artist. If you start thinking about it right now, you just did look in your mind. You ain't got to shoot them out, but like, go 10 artists in your head. They all had drama in their songs, and that's what Doom had. Doom had a lot of. He was animated. You know what I'm saying? He also like would be able to say, okay, I'm gonna make this song and it's gonna be animated because the video was also there too, right? Like the audio and the visual were hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't just have it where it was like you don't listen to me rhyme and that's it. He had the cold ass like videos that were animated, look like Marvel. The old school Marvel videos, you know what I'm saying? Them old school Thor.
Right.
I mean, he caught the whole vibe. He had the whole like those cartoons was made in the '60s, and me and Doom, God rest his soul, are basically the same age. I'm gonna be 50 this year. He'll be 50 at midnight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll be 50 in September. So we were born the same year. So those cartoons though came out in the '60s. So. But we was watching that shit when we were kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was able to capture all that within his, not like me and him watched together. You know what I'm saying? We was able to capture that all.
Same generation.
Yeah. He was able to capture that, man. While he's eating this bowl of cereal, like in old, like hip hop rules. He was able to eat this bowl of cereal, catching that shit after school. That's when we used to watch. That's when that shit came on. Channel 44 here in Chicago, at least. That was like what WPWR would be now. And like we watched that, you watched it, and he had the theme music, he had the leaping, he had the rainbows jumping behind him and shit. Like he was able to capture that, and he tapped into a frequency of people who were into that. We all know how huge Comic-Con is and C2E2 is, and he was able to tap. He could very easily Adult Swim. He could very easily like be at Comic-Con with Stan Lee. You know what I'm saying? Like he could be there. He could be doing Adult Swim, but that all fit because his music had all that drama attached to it. He was visual. His show was all about his lyrics. That was the other thing I really dug about him was because it was like there was this raw thing happening. The times I seen him perform, and I watched a lot of videos of his too, as far as like him and Grimm up there just rocking. That was the shit. Him and Grimm. That was always the show. And Grimm is a super huge dude. Grimm got to be at least 260 pounds, maybe, right? Easily. 250. Let's give him Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack up there rapping, and Doom is like a shorter dude, probably like my height, maybe an inch shorter, give or take. And they up there rocking, and he always segue, Doom. What you got for me now, man? What we gonna do? What's the drama, man? He got that gut running like he started like rocking, and it looked like an ocean up there, man. It looked like that motherfucker was surfing, but surfing like any like a surfer of no other surfer, because he's riding the wave for us like a dolphin. You know what I'm saying? He's just up in that shit, like just going. My surfer friends always tell me, man, if you really want that super rush, get your ass on a surfboard and watch a dolphin just smiling at your ass in the wave. All my good surfer friends tell me the same fucking thing. Like, man, then the dolphin was in the wave with me. Like, and the dolphin just be in the wave, just smiling at his ass, like big ass dolphin. That's Doom, the dolphin. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I'm just coming off the top right now, but like that was what. And then just to see how people, dude, when I never forget this about the Metro. I'm probably just jumping ahead, but I remember like,
oh wow,
he don't come on stage till it felt like 3:30 in the morning, and like seriously, it's like a
man, you would have hated that show day.
Yeah.
When did the doors open? I say he would have hated waiting that long,
bro.
When did the doors open for that show?
Like 9 o'clock.
Like
8 o'clock.
Yep. Basically,
it was a job.
It was 18 and up. It was 18.
The whole shift.
That's all.
There's a whole shift at work.
I was straight up, and Sang didn't pay me shit for that goddamn show. Like, I don't think he paid me nothing for that show. He might have gave me $20 for gas or some shit. Like, I don't even think he did that.
Wow,
that's good. That's a good free.
He's excellent. I appreciate him because, like, it was dope. I didn't, it was what it was. I mean, like, at that point in time, I looked at it like free publicity for me. I had, I was doing the Pantry All Natural thing, and it was just, okay, I wasn't doing shit that night. I don't even think he had a host. And, like, he hit me up and was like, Green, like literally that day or day before that, you not hosting the MF Doom show? And I was like, sure. And I didn't care if anyone else, I knew Doom got paid, obviously, but I didn't care if anyone else was getting paid, and I came out. But the point I'm getting to is I remember maybe 30 minutes before he was going to come on stage.
3 o'clock.
Easy. It's 3 something. And I'm on stage, wow. And I'm trying to warm up the crowd, and I decide I'm going to kick another freestyle, right? By this time, niggas, everyone's feeling like how Dave would have felt. And they screamed at me. They was like, this sounded boo my ass. But they were saying, I knew what they were saying, but it definitely was a nice, it was boo, but Doom. They was ready for Doom to come out, man. And I went down there and I told them, I said, look, man, I'm not gonna fucking be some goddamn sacrificial lamb for a bunch of these goddamn Komodo dragons out here, bro. I said, so we're gonna have to get him on stage. He's gonna have to come on stage. Like, it's gonna be crazy. Like, there's a time. So we go backstage. He was there smoking. We was backstage. I went downstairs with him. Y'all have been backstage in the Metro? You ever been backstage at the Metro?
No. No, I don't think so.
So you come in, y'all been to the Metro, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you enter, right, and you walk past the people who are collecting your tickets, if I remember this correctly, you can turn to the left, and now you're going up the stairs to the show, right? And then
to the left,
right. If you go to the right, you're heading towards the green room. So, and the green rooms they're huge. And then from the green rooms, you can there's a back entrance way that'll take you up to the stage from the green room. So in the green room, they got like several of them. There's 3 green rooms, if I can remember this correctly. There's 3 green rooms. One is bigger than all the rest of them, and then there's like a common area. And so, and so that means it's cool for the opening acts to be back there. So I go back there, and I go holler at him because I want to make sure he may not want me to introduce him. You know what I'm saying? So I go back there and see if he cool with me introducing him, and he's like, "Yo," he's got the mask on at this point, and he's like, "Yo," I'm like, "Yo, what's up, bro?" I said, "Man, like we know each other." And Grim, I was kicking it with Grim a little earlier before the show because this cat, a Chicago cat, knew him. And so we're sitting down and we're eating at that burger joint across the street with fries and shit.
Right
you know what I mean?
Hot dog spot?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So we're over there and I'm having some fries, because I can't eat shit else there. I ain't want to eat no fish sandwich before I hit. I ain't want to be all flaming like that. I'm in niggas' faces. Like I had my face between somebody's legs or some shit. Over on Clark Street, by the way. So let me be specific over there. So like, God forgive me, I'm clowning right now. And like, so I'm hollering at Grim, and I say, "Hey man, I love to get Doom on tune. We like vibing," and he's like, "Cool." And I could tell you to ask him. He said, "Man, what you got?" And I said, "Man, I'd probably do like $3,000, something like that." And he was like, "Yeah. Why don't you go vibe and introduce you to him, and y'all could vibe out and see how that, see if he's into it." And so that's when I go to the green room hours later, and like we're in the green room and we're vibing. And I tell him, "Man, you know who kind of sounds like you to me?" And he's like, "Who, man?" I said, "Talib Kweli." And he said, "Yo, I kind of can hear that. Now that you say that." And I said, "Yeah, I ain't trying to get no shit started, man, because I'm a Kweli fan too." I said, "But it never really occurred to me that he kind of has your inflection." And he said, I said, "That's my ears, though." I said, "Because ears are," then I broke down to him real quick of how ears can be tricky because, like, I say that to y'all now, and both of y'all be like, "I don't hear that shit." And like, but in Talib's earlier work, especially that Reflection Eternal vibe, I felt like he kind of, in his development, he kind of reminded me of the Doom.
He was a lot wordier back then.
Talib.
Yeah.
Was, right?
Like those early.
Yes. But again, what I say is ears are weird because what I'm hearing and what y'all hearing, believe it or not, is not the same.
Sure.
Did y'all know that?
Well, I would guess, being how much that you listen to music and as a creator in that way and stuff, that alone would make it different. But I guess we all have our differences sort of naturally as well.
My bad, bro. We got different tastes, and we hear certain shit kind of jumps at us. It's just like beauty is the eye of the beholder. So that's why, like, if you see a girl with some ugly ass dude, he ain't really ugly to her, probably. You know what I'm saying? Or like for real, like, because I don't want to be like
she sees something that nobody else.
Yeah, you ever seen? You remember them old school Popeye? Remember them old school Popeye cartoons and shit? When they see olive oil and they eyes do this shit around olive oil,
right?
They be like, woo, and they do that shit. Give her a quick and Olive standing there sticky and shit in a bathing suit with shorts on, look like me in boy shorts, and like, she that's how Bluto and Popeye saw her ass though. They was like, woo.
They saw them curves,
Connect the sticks. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's how that shit go. Like, motherfuckers be hearing. It's like that with ears too. Your ear. That's how come all three of us can hear a track. That's why it's real remarkable when someone like Doom can break through and connect all three of us, because we're all like think he's phenomenal. No, he's phenomenal. actually does not think. It's like you're a fool if you don't know. You don't think he's phenomenal because you just didn't check the shit out. You know, some people be like, nah, you must didn't hear his shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if I could, if I pick my 5 favorite tunes right now, like each one of us probably got 5. That's so double by him. We all got probably 5 different favorite tunes from him. You know, maybe like Rhymes Like Dimes or some shit like that all together. But maybe not. And we got 5 different tunes we like by him. And then like, if all of us said to a person who said they didn't like him, and we said, "Oh, it's cool, man. I'm not gonna front you. You probably never heard none of his shit. Come sit in the car with me. I'm gonna give you some weed to smoke. I'm gonna roll you a joint, and I'm gonna let you smoke some shit. We're gonna put our masks on, and you're gonna go on here and listen to this nigga. And then you tell me what you say. And I know you ain't a liar. So just tell me what you think." Did I answer the question or did I not answer what you asked?
Dave. You gave me something that I'm glad you mentioned Rhymes Like Dimes because Dave had texted me like just an hour before we came on. He realized the sample on that. You know, Dave's a big sample guy, so you can talk about that, Dave. You will.
No, yeah, I was the James Ingram 100 Ways or whatever it is, 100 Ways. So the only reason why that even came, because Stretch and Bobbito was doing the show tonight, the Doom tribute show tonight, and on the IG they were playing that sample. So I just looked it up and called it the James Ingram song 100 Ways. Him and Quincy Jones.
Yeah, it was that. And then they scratched it at the end.
And Bobbito would say, that was a wild song, man. That was a funny song. Like what you think about Doom's ability to be a dope MC and incorporate humor? Because we're gonna talk about this later with you, the way that you've gotten into comedy and stuff on as well. But as an MC, it's hard to be comedic and dramatic, like you said earlier, and incorporate all these things and just be a dope MC as well. Like, what do you think about
some of the best MC? I don't mean to cut your math, but I think I know what you're asking. Though, to me, the best MCs are funny anyway. To me, the best MCs who raise the sharp, they pretty much make you laugh anyway. Though, you listen to Wu-Tang Clan, they say some wild ass shit. It make you laugh. I'm just naming motherfuckers. Common is funny. Like you listen to Common and he say some wild, like Bobby did bring another rapper down, like Bobby did Whitney. This that people Kane. The rhymes I express are fully dressed while yours are butt naked. You be like, oh shit, but at the same time a little part of you laughs at that shit because you like nigga say his nigga rhymes is butt naked. Like Tony the Tiger, I'm great. Like he's hard. He's spitting darts and that shit, but he's like funny. And so Doom is no different than any other great MC on that level to me. Because if you're gonna be a great MC, MCs be like super serious. There are those to me, Nas is very, serious. Yeah. But Rakim is funny. Rakim is like nobody smiling. You know what I'm saying? But Biggie was funny. The niggas I rhyme with, all natural fam, Tree Cats, they funny. They say funny shit. Cats are funny, man. That's why Doom is dope. Cause you're gonna lose people if you ain't entertaining them a little bit. It's like KRS-One. I always use that edutainment. You gotta give people you gotta plant some seeds on people. Cause Doom did plant seeds. He wasn't preachy with that shit, but he definitely was planting seeds. And then he was being funny at the same time. And then he conveyed it because he always put the visual just to bring it home. Now, cats like us, Don't need the video. We could listen to Doom. Matter of fact, that's how I listen to Doom. You know, I listen to Doom like, but when I want to turn him on to somebody, then I stimulate them with a visual of him. You know what I'm saying? Because
Sure.
yeah, I know they're gonna feel that because who don't feel like heroic shit? And that's what Philly like was slightly. Now he also makes you as an MC. Sometimes you get mad and shit, like because you be like, damn, nigga, I wish I was like. He makes you not take yourself so serious. So you be like, man, let me stop taking myself serious. And then, therefore, when I can not take myself serious, then I can tap into this frequency of stepping outside myself. He would have been a tremendous like actor if that's something he would have wanted to pursue because he didn't. I mean, obviously, he would have had to still figure out. They would have figured out a way to rock the metal, but at the same time, like, yeah, he was like funny, man. So he could kind of like step outside himself a lot, right? Because he wasn't attached
I think
to being Doom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying I think they like Marvel and them made a mistake in not casting him to play Doom. You know, when they tried to do them little Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
They could have had Doom play Doom.
Yeah, they could have. I'm glad they didn't because them motherfuckers suck.
I'm happy they didn't sue.
Right, the movies were bogus anyway, so they might as well have put Doom in them. So,
I mean,
go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, he get a bag for that shit. Okay, go and get paid, but at the same time, them motherfuckers, them shit's trash.
They put Ghost in the Iron Man movie, and that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Well, Iron Man is good though, generally, right? I mean,
I said they put Ghost in it, you know. Yeah, you know.
That would go.
Made it better.
Yeah. Hey, Doom lucky he didn't get sued. It was way too many fucking samples, especially in Operation Doomsday. I mean, especially like after Marvel went corporate. I mean, not to get too way in the weeds, but after Marvel went corporate, they lucky they ain't come after his ass. Oh, I mean, I love Doom, but the Operation Doomsday is pulling from all the original Fantastic Four cartoons. To your earlier point, Greenweedz.
Yeah, like you know what though?
Yes,
like,
it is. Like, how did he get away with it? How did he get away with all that?
That wasn't a mixtape either.
Yeah, dude, I think part of it, to be real with you, is him. We just all talking shit right now, so I don't know the real answer, but I think with him being independent, and part of not giving a fuck, that's why they didn't come at him. Because he wasn't really on your radar as far as like huge, right? He wasn't on a major label necessarily ever.
Right.
He kind of had those moments of like, dude, let me tell you something. This is the best artist to be. This is why I love Dipper. And this is why I liken his, not liking like, but comparatively, his passing, his transition to Dilla.
Yeah.
More so than any other artist we have lost a lot of great ones, by the way. But I liken it to Dilla because, and I think this is why a lot of people really fuck with Doom, is because Doom could Chuck D said this before. Doom could go into the penthouse and then he could be in the basement. Follow my analogy.
Right.
He could go into the penthouse with a group like 07 or Robert Glasper, you know what I mean? Do some shit with their asses, and then he can go take that elevator, right? He in the building, by the way. He owns the fucking building. And he can go all the way up top, but he'd rather stay in the goddamn basement. And that's where he is, just nestled in that basement, making himself a cool bag. You know, I don't want to get in, I'm going to tell you kind of I knew what he got at the Metro. And let me tell you, the only reason I'm telling you the money part is because this is how far he came. I know, I don't want to tell you exactly what he got, but Sang gave him a little over $4,000 for that show. I don't know if it was.
And that's what, like 04?
That's about 04. And then when I was trying to get him, let's fast forward like 12 or 13, that nigga won 20 grand.
A lot that happened between them 8 years though.
But yeah, because he's packing places.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got, bro, think about it. He's got Most Def opening for him. He's got the show I was at, Jizzle was opening for him. He just overpowers like that. Some dudes like that. I remember Atmosphere was at Red Rocks, and they, not to turn this into them, but like, they was at Red Rocks, man, and Common had to open for them. The motherfucking white kids didn't know who was at, they knew Common, obviously, but they fuck with Atmosphere hard. You know what I'm saying? And like, hip hop is, that's why hip hop is always like dope, because the shit humbles you, you know, and you better be hip to that shit as far as like, I'm talking as an artist. When you step in the room, don't be coming in that motherfucker like, you know who I am? I'm kind of a big deal, in case you don't know. No, nigga, like, you gotta work for that shit every fucking time, man. Like, that show we did as Fam Tree, we would do shows here in Chicago for a few years, and Atmosphere was opening for us. We did a show in Minneapolis the first time we ever rocked with Atmosphere, and they put us on last, but it was because everyone stayed in that. Dude, it was 50 below that fucking night. We did a gig at the Hole in Minneapolis, and I only mention all this because I'm not turning this into that, but we just rapping, we just chatting, and like, I mention all this because hip hop is humbling like that. And that's Doom. You know, I told you, I went up on that stage, man. Them niggas knew me out there. I'm looking at my friends. Like, it was like, Terry, they're all gonna laugh at you. I was like, what the fuck, man? I'm looking at my homies, girls I know, guys, cousins and shit. I got your ass shit.
I'm laughing because there's a comedian who's done that before, and it just brought me back to that. I'm sorry. It's a great fucking line. The carry shit, yeah, it's a great line. I'm sorry, yeah.
Who did that?
I gotta remember the comedian. I've seen that. It's a fucking great line though. I'm sorry.
Dude, it always hits when I've been doing that shit since the fucking 80s, man. Like, we used to say that when motherfuckers try to look at him, hey man. We used to say that shit in the 80s. Motherfucker take a shot shooting basketball, and I couldn't really hoop that well. I mean, I had little handles, but I couldn't. For some reason, my shot got lame. So I was sitting on the sideline, nigga hit a brick or something, and we all in this homeboy would be like, they're all gonna laugh at you. Nigga be on the kick. He be like, when I'm done, I'm gonna kick your ass, man. And we know his team gonna lose, and I'm out of there before his shit drop down. You know, nigga drop down 21 and shit, and he drops to 13. I'd be like, all right, be pretending my mom's voice, Marcel, and I'd be like, all right, man, I gotta go. Street lights on, I gotta go, man. Fuck that, man. I just take off in the hospital back in the day. I had an older brother, man. I draw him like a revolver. My brother was in gangs. He was in the vice, he was vice lords and shit back in the day. And like, he's still alive. I'm not talking past him. But like my older brother, I would draw his ass like a revolver. And then niggas got wise and shit. They was like, well, you know, if your brother touched me, I'll call the police and he'll go to jail. And I was like, wait a minute. Nobody, what jail got to do with this? I just wanted to get your ass whooped so you don't whoop my ass. And then I couldn't really like, say I'm gonna get my brother, and they was like, church is out. And that nigga wouldn't be around. Like, you know how niggas be like, remember how the rap records be like, and I got on the phone and I called my homie and my homies came. But in real life, you got to get to the phone to call that motherfucker. You know what I mean? They can whoop your ass. 5 minutes is a long time for an ass whipping. You ever got to before? Don't be wrong, man. It be 5 minutes. You be like, God damn, I feel like I'm live like it was high school, like a 4-year term or some shit. Anyway, man, hip hop is humbling like that.
But hip hop,
they're all gonna laugh at you, bro.
That's great.
I'm glad you mentioned I'm glad you mentioned because I think of cats like Atmosphere. Another cat I think about is like a Tech Nine, where these cats have these incredible audiences that they developed off, but they did their shit off of they off Broadway. They never really was in the mainstream, but they developed these major audiences to the point where they can be almost million selling record sales on their own without any major promotion or anything like that. Like Atmosphere had Rhyme Says Records because of what they've done. They built up their own little empire, really. And Doom was on Rhyme Says for a while. They made a big deal out of themselves without on the low.
I knew, but it wasn't really on the low. It was weird, right? Like, it was on the low, not disputing you, but it wasn't.
Compared to like the mainstream rap artists of, they weren't.
Yeah, totally. They didn't have their budget was what they did. One thing they had, man, was is entrepreneurial spirit. First of all, the people who worked for them were Chicago. Kevin Beecham and Jay Bird. Jay Bird used to manage Rubber Room. And he was their manager. Like, he was the man. So they already was working their number. And remember, they had Fifth Element Records up there. That just closed like a year or two ago. And then they had their crew. I was cool with all them dudes, man. Saab. Listen, me and Slug was so cool, man, to the point where, like, when they would come here, but they used to always throw down around Christmas and New Year's Eve. They would call me to come and host their gigs. They just say, man, get Greenweedz to come. Jay Bird hit me up, say, man, you want to come through? And Atmosphere, Slug did records with All Natural. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just had that fan.
Yeah.
Hip hop was so like, because then that's when the underground independent scene was jumping. Remember, MF Doom was on a Mole Man record. That kind of like was right before.
I was going to bring that up. That was on, that's a great joint there.
Great joint. And Mole Man, we did an album with them. The Fam Tree Treehouse Rock record was basically a Mole Man family tree record. I don't know if y'all remember that record, but that was it's basically Mole Man and Family Tree. And Prime is on it. Alderman Prime is on it. Andre Vasquez is an alderman now. I'd be like, nigga, let them niggas know your award that you ride. He started doing it now. But like, not because of me. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy how cats get really grown. And like, man, he's doing it. I love it, man. And like, that was what we was doing. Most men had the beast. Everyone was rocking with them, and it was Panic, Memo, PNS, and that was what that was, and man, it was just always dope. And they just, that's how underground hip hop, we moved together like that, like motherfuckers was just cross pollinating in different cities. Whoever, we was cool with Long Catalyst, J. Rawls. And J. Rawls did Brown Skin Lady for Black Star. So we all were
real dope producer.
Yeah, we had those moments of like working with major artists. And those artists who were major also, by the way, they were breaking through and would come back and rock with us. I mean, No ID and Doug Infinite put out a record on All Natural Inc. They put out basically that Black album, that sampler. They did it.
That was on All Natural? I did, yeah.
Well, it was on a major label, but then they put the instrumental out on that. Hold on a second, I opened this door for it. Dude. They put this instrumental out on their they put the instrumental of that Black album on All Natural. And you remember No ID did Thinking Cap for Cap B. That was like basically 50 years in Thinking Cap on the B side, or you know what I'm saying? Like that was the first all natural 12-inch. Was No ID did that, and I brought the sample 50 years to today for all natural. That's a Ramsey Lewis joint. That Ramsey Lewis was doing all these Beatles tunes. It's off the Mother Nature. Go listen to that record. That record's hot, right? And so I had this Ramsey Lewis record, and he was basically doing all Beatles tunes. And that is Julia. Dave found the record, but I took him the album. I didn't take him the sample. I took him the album. And he found that sample.
Okay. And that you talk about the song with the KRS-One vocal too, the 50 years down the line.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Yep. Oh man, that's one of my favorite all natural joints. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what's up, man. I'm loving this. I'm loving this, man. It's history, man. I'll tell y'all, this is a legend, man. Greenweedz has been around the block more times than he probably can remember, man.
Dude, I tell people I'm like a fucking 2008 Porsche. I look good on the outside, but I need some work done on me.
but man, I want to go back to that that 04 show, 05 maybe at Metro, and and we finished talking about Doom, and I guess the one thing that really stood out to me about that story as you told it was that the cover, the cover, what would be the cover for Food or Food, however you want to pronounce it, created that night at the show. You said there was a painter. Yeah, there was a painter who created that image of Doom at the table eating the cereal with all the little beans in it and stuff. And that was created at the Metro that night, right?
It was created at the Metro that night. So do y'all remember when cats would have these like live art shows? Like people did it a little bit in the last 5 years, but it really started around that time. And Sang was one of the first cats I ever seen doing that shit, where he would like have a show. He just had this happening, right? Because they was all hip hop as fuck. And damn, what's the dude's name? I actually just started following him on Instagram. He actually got a huge following. Like he did a couple like illustrations for Doom. Doom was putting him on a lot of shit. Like Jason Django or something like that.
Let me try to look it up right quick while you tell the story.
Yeah, Jason Jago. It's like J-A, like Jason, and then I think Jago, Jagel, or it might be an N up in there in that last name. But anyway, like, because I literally just
Jason Jago.
Yep. I asked Intel yesterday who did that artwork, and he's, Puff and him got back to me and told me. I asked him and Puff. So anyway, the show would start, right? DJ, as soon as the show started, it's mostly starting with music. They ain't gonna just start it with an act hit stage. And he's on stage. And that's what he's doing the whole show. And by the time Doom comes out there, the painting has to be done. By the time the main act hits, the artwork has to be done. Because, you don't want to be doing artwork while the main act performing. You know what I'm saying? First of all, the artist may not even want you up there talking about are we done? Hello?
Yeah, I guess I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it only lets us do an hour, huh?
No, just keep going.
Okay, because I lost y'all. I'm not seeing y'all.
Hopefully it'll be so.
Maybe it only lets us do an hour. I don't know. If we lose each other, we come back.
Yeah.
Just text me if we lose each other and send the link to me, and I'll come right back on.
See, is that great?
Nope.
I don't know why. Okay, I've got us back on. Come. Can you
hear
me?
I hear you.
I can hear you. We keep talking. So yeah, man. Doom. Well, Dave's here now.
There goes Cal.
And there's Kyle coming back right there. You know, for you, last name means you're pretty nice. So you're pretty like hospitable to have a last name that's like Kyle means and shit. You know, like you like totally adjust the position.
Yeah.
You're pretty like.
You haven't seen me in certain occasions, but
I don't want
I appreciate that. I've had my moment.
We already no trouble. Yeah, man, motherfucker, like I be telling people, man, you let that nigga know, man, I'm looking for him, and then they inevitably would come back with, "What's that nigga?" I'm like, I never like spark fear in motherfuckers like that. Like motherfuckers make me my way, and they be like, "Nah, nigga, I think I could take you." Now I'll prove them wrong, obviously, but like, you know, still, I'm not saying I want no beef. I'm just saying like I had to fight my way through shit. Anyway, man, that's what Jason did, man. He would,
we all grew up in the same city, man. You know how it is.
You know this motherfucker catch you anyway. You gotta move like a Wolverine in here. As soon as you think you apex bear or some shit, nigga come at you. You too visible, my dude. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, man, he was paying, and then Doom basically and was like, man, can I use this? Working on my new album. I mean, I was like, there. I mean, I was a fly on the wall with that conversation, and then he was just hyped. You know, because when he get hyped, it wasn't like you know, like a chill thing, and then I'm gonna get back with you later in this manner. It's just like an immediate, visceral type thing. He was like, "Whoa, right. You know, this is dope, man. Can I use this for my album cover?" Of course, Jason's like, "Well, let's talk to my agent." No, he's like, "Yeah, man, shit, yeah," you know, and there it was.
Yeah,
and if you look on his Instagram page, man, and if you look on, so ain't that crazy? That's how much love he had for Chicago. You know, when I saw that, so I posted. That's what I posted to remember him by, because that's how I always thought of Doom as a super animated dude. We vibed. We was smoking. We had a blunt. I think at that point in time, I was still smoking blunts because I kind of transitioned to like joints after a while. But like at that time, I was still smoking blunts, and we was like losses. I had my own blunt. He had his own blunt, and we was both blazing backstage, and we was just talking. You know, not heavy, like just talking, just vibing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm smoking, he's smoking, and then you know I just asked him one time, "Are you cool with me introducing you on stage?" And he like, "Yeah, man. Yes. Yep." And then I was like, "Cool, man. We smoked some more." And that was that, man. And you know, a smoke session was like 15, 20 minutes. I kind of put mine out. It takes me a while to do it. You know, I put mine out and I wanted to let him get his cue together. He didn't kick me out, but I didn't want to, you know, just be crowding the space before he hit. And I was expecting him to hit soon. Lord, I know I was going to have to wait another like 30 minutes or so, you know. But I get it. You know what I'm saying?
I have to say, yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll just say, I'm, you know, that's definitely, smoking with Doom is definitely a moment that I have to say I'm envious for you, you know, in regards to you be able, you know, as a friend, you know, I'm glad that you were able to have such a moment, and I'll say I'm envious of that you were able to have that moment, and you know, not being able, even, you know, not being able to see him perform is one thing, and I want to ask you about the most controversial element of his performance in a minute, but you know, not being able to see him perform is something that, you know, sort of strikes me in knowing that he's transitioned. Not being able to have smoked with him or interview him is another. And but you know, it's just like there's just a thing with artists like that. You know, you have that sort of, you know, what if things, and you know, you'd like to see them do more and everything, or like to have had more of experience with them. You know, have you thought about first just having had that experience with him? How significant was that? Did you ever think about that before he passed, or was it something that just come to you in realizing his passing now?
Okay, so like, you know, well, first of all, like when I'm around, I've been around a lot of artists, so
sure,
I don't really get. It's only a couple that really like starstruck me. I'm impressed by what they all do, but it's only a couple where I'm just like, whoa, you know, I'm Shaka Khan, what the fuck, like BB King, oh my god, you know, like I haven't been like, it wasn't like that. Where my regret came with him is I wish I did the song.
Sure.
I took the $3,000 and decided to use a bullshit publicist for the record because I figured if I paid him $3K, that was all my marketing money. And while I should have just did the tune and thought to myself, well, the marketing is within itself to have Doom on the record, you know? But that's not how it works when you're doing records, you know? Like, you always think like, I just gotta get this nigga on the record and they'll be huge. But I've had a lot of big artists on records, you know, and they never amounted to nothing with no budget. So that was my regret, wishing I like did the tune with him, you know. But definitely being around him, you knew something. You knew you was around someone. This is the cliche, but you knew you was around someone extremely special and powerful. His energy was brilliant because, like I said, you saw how people were responding to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta pay attention to that. Like, I've seen Prince live like 9 times, I want to say, and to see, and Prince fans are the same way. I mean, obviously, he's the biggest scale, it's Prince, but we can name artists who have that kind of. Sebastian Palace is kind of like that, where like people come there, they know the great Deadheads, Fish fans, they know what the fuck they coming to, and they're there for the whole.
Really devoted.
It's not just looking at a concert. It's like there's a whole bunch of other shit happening. You know, like these niggas is only there for him, and they probably only go to one show a year, which is him. And that's what they're there for. Just like you said with Tech Nine, he got them kind of fans. You know, like people are there to see Tech Nine. You know, Doom had that kind of like impact, and that's why I was always impressed because people were, you know, Most Def huge. I had Most Def at the Shrine. Not I, but our crew had him there at least 3 or 4 times. Bro, Most Def is 30 grand. It's 30 grand to book him. He's got to open for Doom. Put it in perspective. No matter what the fuck his asking fee is, he's gonna have to open for Doom. Doom not coming in front, going in front of him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the humbling shit that, like I said, hip hop does, and that's what I was very quickly impressed by. So that's what my regret was with Doom was, and this I didn't get to see him a lot more after those 2 shows. But I really kicked myself in the ass. I mean, dude, I got a lot of moments like that though. You know, tell you what though, when we found out he passed, right? Because he been passed. Like only Doom would pass away on Halloween, and then we don't find out. I thought it was a hoax,
man. Yeah,
I thought it was a hoax because that's he was about to ask this question, and I just jump right to it. The part about him that, like, I would trip on because I just wouldn't have the ball. It was him sending out them Doom imposters.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like he would send out the Doom imposters, and that's what Mos Def that was his third time he was supposed to be here in Chicago. He pulled that shit. The Doom imposters.
Yeah.
And he almost got
and it was almost he set off a riot.
Bro, the shit was almost Capitol Hill with chocolate people. Like Mos Def almost got his ass told the fuck up. Motherfuckers I wasn't at that show, but I heard about it. This is Mujik, everybody. This is Mujik. I'm at 3.
Was that at the Metro 2 or was that somewhere else?
No, Congress.
Congress, okay.
The energy niggas go different mindset. It could have been the same niggas at that Metro show, and it's like calm, peace, and harmony, and we can wait for them. And then you at the motherfucking Congress, and the Congress makes you like say, because you already got tough anyway. It's so crazy how that area has completely changed now, right?
Yeah.
With Congress used to be at now, you can kind of walk around there. It was super cool. Back then, it was it's totally gentrified. Back then, it was like it's right where the owl is. Back then, it was like, oh nigga, you gonna get the fuck toe off coming over here. So your mindset already. I saw Tina Marie there, man. It was the best fucking concert I ever been to. But that was the only time that I had a really great time going. I never liked going to concerts there because you couldn't find parking. And if I can't, I like my horse to be right outside the motherfucking venue. I don't want to go walking blocks for my horse. You know what I'm saying? I already rock the cowboy look. It's a real live thing. I want my horse right out there so I can jump on that motherfucker, get the fuck up out of here. I was already grown, so that's what my mind was, But anyway, he sent the Doom and pops out. And that kind of hurt his rep a little bit, man. Like, I'm just being frank. That kind of hurt his rep with people. But also laughed because I was like, damn, I wish I had them kind of balls. I'm always like down. I give a nigga credit for some balls. And I was like, man, I said, Jesus. I said, this nigga, he sent a nigga out there to be him and then justified it by saying, that's a part of my shit too. My boy was telling me, Talib asked him, man, why was you sending all them imposters out? And he said, because I'm the villain, man. I'm the villain. I said, damn. What does villain mean? Pimp? Because I'm a pimp, man. I'm a pimp.
Yeah.
That's some shit, man.
I mean, at the time that stuff was going down, as being an artist and everything and the showman, were you respecting that? Were you honoring that? Or was it like, I don't know about this dude?
I mean, as an artist, I would never, because it's a lot that entails with that. It's like, okay, I don't know what they paid him. So let's just throw an arbitrary number out there. Let's say they gave him $5,000, right? So the promoter he had to send him in advance of the money, minimum half of that money. So if he's sending him half of that money, now he's got the deposit. So now he comes out there and then probably most likely he's not getting the rest of the money. He wants the money probably before he even enters the venue. A lot of artists are like that. So I'm just giving you my whole shrine hat at this point, okay? And my management hat. If I gave you now, you got all that money, and then you gonna send a fucking imposter out there, nigga? You crazy? Now that's me as the money guy. Me as an artist, I thought it was ballsy, but personally, I wouldn't do it. Because like I would, I'm long-term relationships. Here's the deal, man. When I became I'm going down a rabbit hole. When I became a agent for the Shrine, and this ain't about the Shrine, but it is about this. I already knew how people would look at me if they didn't know that I was an artist. Like I was doing science experiments with niggas because the artists started looking. It was like a Pimp and Hogan. No, it was like a John game. The John, the Trick. The Trick is the man with money. and the hoe is the motherfucking artist.
Right.
Because they like think you some John. They how much is it to suck your dick? It's $50, and then they don't even fucking suck your dick. Do your hand job, give me $50. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry to be graphic, but you see what I'm saying. You know, like
not very satisfying.
Not at all. Call girl. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I hang with me for an hour. I hang with you for an hour. Give me $200, and then she's like out of there in 35 minutes. Like, you fucking kidding me? This is how the art. And I can tell you from being at the shrine, man. Let me tell you, if it would be hard for me to listen to a lot of motherfuckers based on my business dealings with them. And I ain't gonna go into names, but I just do this thing where I had shrine stories, and I would just tell these crazy ass stories about me dealing with artists. And they would totally deal with me different. A couple of them knew that I was a rapper. I remember Lars Professor knew who I was, and he was like, nigga, you sitting up here acting like you booking shows. I know who you is, nigga. I know who you is. He was getting in the car, some extra P type shit. Like he did the DJ gig, we kicking it. And he was like one of the coolest. And we kick it, and then he getting in the car loading his fucking records away. And he's like, don't think I don't know who you are, nigga. I know who you are, nigga. You a legend. Shit. I remember I was downstairs with Dwelle and Teacher Moses, and I was getting stoned with Teacher Moses, and Teacher Moses said, niggas in Miami be talking about you. You are fucking like giant. And she said, and she said this, and here I am. I thought she was just a booking agent. Like, you know, you can like finish the sentence, but to me it was like, here you are, just a low ass booking agent to me. You know, you cool and shit, nigga, but hold on, man, I might have to turn this light off and charge this phone up while I'm talking to y'all because I'm at 10%, and I know how that goes. So if you don't mind, this light's gonna dim, but I'm gonna charge the phone up, okay?
Do what you gotta do.
Let's take it. This will be like 30 seconds in this minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the nigga lit up, but we've been on the phone for like an hour.
I know, man. We go a little longer than even I was expecting, but you giving me too much, bro.
It's okay, man. It's okay. You go too hard on this shit. I just hope we talk about Doom enough for the people that whoever cares that we doing this, you know. But I love doing it. I don't care who all listening or what all listening. I just want to like. He was a dope dude, man.
Yeah.
And then I'm also down to drop.
We salute Doom all day, man. You know,
man.
We gonna salute you too, man. Because you know, like I said,
I feel like you do.
I said we gonna salute you too, man. You are dude, man. And you know, I wanna go back to. I think it was about we started coming up there on some media shit. Me and Dave. To the shrine about 12, 13, 13, really.
13,
and it was 13, yeah. You just like you just was like I don't even know how. And I think originally I didn't do all the math because you know I had heard, I'd heard All Natural stuff and I'd seen your name because your name is obviously easy. You know, to remember, seeing it on the record. But I was like, I don't know if I even at the beginning I had made the math and was like, oh, this the same dude who been on records and stuff. But regardless, like we just sort of clicked right away, and you were cool enough to come on. I did a little interview with you, and we put on YouTube and. It's just like every time we came up there, man, you just was like a good dude. You had a big smile and made people feel welcome. However way we was up there. Whether we was just kicking it at a show or trying to interview someone. So I just really appreciate that hospitality that people like you gave, and like I said, those are some of the best times I've had as an adult in Chicago. So I really like I said, I just want to say, big up for that, man. I appreciated all that.
Sure.
No, I was just gonna say, Yeah, no, I was just seconding. I mean, in my time along with Kyle, the three places that have been always the most memorable is Funky Buddha, and then it's and it's you guys, and then I guess the last was Promontory, and the Promontory was more compressed. But out of all three of those, no one has been a better host of the space, any of those spaces but you. So.
No, I appreciate it, man. I mean, like,
and so many memories, man.
No, I appreciate. I mean, look, I know what it's like, man, to be trying to get your shit off, and then there's some gatekeeper right there hating on you to get your shit off, just because. And I'm always the kind of dude. I'm careful. I want to treat everybody the same. This is not like some type of, man, you should. If a motherfucker is cool, they come with you with respect. I'm gonna be 50. But back then I was even like mid 40s, 40 something, early 40s, whatever the fuck. And like, man, you just gotta be cool, man, because this business is tricky, man. Like, roles flip so fucking fast, and I seen them flip. Where I think I'm the man, and then the motherfucker turn around, they the man. The woman is the man, And
yeah.
Sometimes you just hope people have a good memory. When you treat them right, they come back at you, and they can pay it forward with you if you need them. Niggas be having like these short memories, pigeon memories. I get that, but I'm not like that. And I don't do shit expecting me up out of it. I do stuff because it's just better on my heart like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be a good dude and just be a regular guy. It ain't even good or bad. Just be a regular guy. Like, I had this vehicle that the owner of the club allowed, before I even took the job, let them know, hey man, in order for this to really work, and we powwow and we had push and pull sessions, but I was like, in order for this to really work, man, we gotta like try to work through this, and there's some ideas I got, and I think they could work, but and if people wanted to do interviews, it was pretty much like cool. If they got the request in time enough, and the artist is down, and generally the artist is cool with it, because that's who the artist really treat good. He treat the motherfucker with the pen real good, he or she. They don't want y'all to have anything bad to write or say about them. It's real. I would treat the motherfucker with the money good too, but like, that's how it is. And like, but so I just wanted to make sure y'all just, minimum fucks. Just get up in there. Sometimes I probably couldn't be there with media because I had PR always like handling, but I would make sure if PR wasn't getting back, then I'd be like, hey, make sure that, because y'all have, there are some people who might have bigger media credentials, but they don't necessarily know how to like hit the artist the same way like someone who may not have huge media credentials. Because I had this one dude
it's just another assignment for some of them,
Yeah, and I had
but for us, it means a little more.
Man, I got a homie now. He's like a VJ for MTV. He does like correspondence work, and he hit me up, and he was like, "Man, same thing y'all just told me." He was like, "Man, I want to thank you, man, because that was my beginning." It's another dude.
You talking about? You talking about? I know you talking about my man.
Domity.
Domity.
Yep.
Domity. You talking about Domity, right?
Yep. And that dude, and Gallo. You know him. There's a few of them, man.
Is Gallo?
The dude is Domity and this cat named Gallo. It's a few cats. Like, it's y'all. It's a few people. Like, Gallo be having interviews with Beyonce and Rihanna and shit like that. Like, they coming up and they be like, Gallo is the guy, and shit like that. Like, and he hit me, DM me, it's cool. I'm always the mistress dude, like, I don't need you to, I'm like Superman. I save your ass and I don't need nobody to know, goddammit, that's what happened. it's my heart to. I appreciate that, man. But no, it really is as a result of I've been there. I remember my first talent show I tried to do in Chicago. When I first went up to HBK, and I called his ass out. Chili Q was the man, and Chili Q was a bastard to me, trying to come up in there and play my demo, my record. But it was JP Chill who actually looked out for me and would play my music all the time at HBK. So I stopped going up there on Fridays trying to fuck with Chili Q, and I just would go to JP Chill. And JP Chill would blast the record. And that's how I started getting like local love in Chicago. But if it was on Chili Q's watch, Chili Q was doing shit for me. I remember I tried to go up there a few times to eat a pizza and look at us all crazy, always eating pizza, box up, looking at your ass, that fake ass gold, got this fake 4-finger ring. Like, nigga, your jewelry is turning your fingers green. What you talking about, nigga? Knock it off. So, like, but the always stuck out to me because I was only 16 going up there. And I'm like, man, I'm a fucking kid, bro. I realized I was a kid, but niggas back then treat you like you grown and play your ass like that. It ain't like now when you see a kid and you be like, he's just a kid, man, let him fuck up. Nah, niggas had to be super accountable when I was 16 in 1988. And they play your ass. And he grown as hell, man. He like 22 and playing me as a kid trying to play my shit. And the shit was fresh, by the way. That shit was fresh as hell. We sampling James Brown for niggas start really sampling James Brown. Like, shit was cold. We had the fucking Richard Pryor on the shit. It was cold. Nigga, you supposed to play this. This is dope. But anyway, he didn't. But you know what that did to me? I said, man, whenever I'm always in position, I'm going to just be cool. I ain't going to probably do too much more than be cool. But at least I'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to fucking like save your life. I ain't got to like pay your college tuition. But what I can do is just within that window, let's just be cool, have a great time, and no stress. You know what I mean?
That's one way I describe you. It definitely is cool.
But that means a lot. I think, I don't know if you've been, I don't want to put no places, speak negatively about any places, but you notice even like the last time I've been at like the promontory, and I think it was Cal's birthday 2 years ago, and the vibe just from being there to what it was at the shrine was just a completely different vibe. I mean, everybody is. It's more exclusive, or at least the facade of being more exclusive, and that just really can be a turnoff. At least I don't know for me, because old, I guess, past that age where it's attractive or alluring, and it ends up being a turnoff, like the exclusivity. Like, okay, you got to walk up the stairs, you got to make sure this person knows you to get in, or pay X amount of extra dollars to get in, and just to be sandwiched with a whole lot of people drinking it, to quote a Fonte line, trying to drink spicks of liquor you don't even like the taste of. It's not, it's a different. It's a different environment.
At the shrine, you had so many shows. You had gangsters up in there. In the same show, you'd have gangsters, you'd have hipsters, you'd have famous people with Chicago Bears in the corner and stuff, and then you'd have people in the middle doing a b-boy circle in the middle of the club, like just on some real b-boy shit.
Yeah, it was. You know what, man. Yeah, some spots don't know. People have an idea. This ain't really specifically a promontory, but like, I just think like, okay, so you go to a venue like, say, Metro or Double Door, right? Those venues is like you go in there and then you're just off on your own to figure out as a consumer what you're gonna do. The Shrine and Promontory had a lot of staff and overhead, right? So they had servers trying to sling drinks, just giving you like, kind of showing you how the sausage is made. A lot of people don't want to see that shit, but some people do. And like, you had servers, you had bartenders, then you had the management and employees. I had a very unique position. Actually, I created that position that I did at the Shrine. I wasn't. I was a production manager. I was like a general store motherfucker in the Westerns. You know, like the fire happening, put on a fire cap. Sell some products in the store, put on an apron and sell you some motherfucking flour. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a production manager. I was a talent buyer. I sold the venue to people who wanted to throw a concert. I threw a few little parties up in there. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I was a promoter, event planner. I was doing a lot of different things, and I was here for that. So, and what I also knew, and I got to give the owner credit too, Joe Russo at that moment, he was the owner, and he really prided on crazy as cat shit, but he prided himself on really like saying, man, I like a good looking staff, and I like my, so that's why the servers, everybody be like, man, I love coming to the shrine just so the servers walking through that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? They were super cool.
They
the
kept
servers were cool. We had to. That was a plus. That was a must. And they knew it. So they, and they was cool. I remember one time at my reggae party, I give you Ray Lewis was at the party on a Sunday. And he was in a corner smoking a cigar. Ray Lewis for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know if y'all follow football like that. Hall of Fame. He's in the corner smoking a cigar.
I definitely know.
And I see him smoking a cigar. I smell the fucking cigar. So I go over there because you can't smoke indoors. But I knew exactly how to play this shit. See, people don't. Okay. People.
But did you know that Lewis had the body on him too when you approached him?
I knew it was him. I could see him from the DJ booth. Nigga, I got the eyes. They ain't so much like an eagle now. Now they kind of groundhogish. But back then, them eyes could see. And I could see you. I was dialed. When I'm on stage, I told you I got the dog on the laugh at you, nigga. I got the carry. I can see you doing shit. I can like pop in on you, zone in and zone out. I can zoom in, zoom out easily. I see him in the corner in the suite smoking a cigar, and I'm like, damn, I gotta get Ray out of here without dissing him. You know what I mean? Because I can go to him, he think he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and I can go to him and be like, hey man, you gotta put that out. That's what most people would do. Man, you gotta put that out. Nigga, that's Ray Lewis. I'm not gonna go to Ray Lewis and say, you gotta put that out. So what I went to him and said, hey, what's up, Ray? I went to him already, like knowing who he is, not even playing that game. Hey man, what's up, man? You a fan? You know my man, Rohan Marley. I know Rohan Marley. They played football together at Miami. That's already, right?
Yeah.
He's speaking patois to me. He's asking me in patois, man, can I smoke this cigar in here? I said, no, man. I said, but I got a spot because he's a celebrity. I got somewhere, man, where you can blaze that motherfucker up and you can smoke 50 cigars and ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. I got a green room I'm gonna take him to. He want to be private anyway. He ain't really giving a fuck about the party. The music is gonna vibrate down anyway. So I take him downstairs and I said, bro, you can bring whoever you want with you down here. So he's got Dominic McNabb's ex-agent manager down there. He's got niggas who play D1. The security played one security, Big Glenn, used to play for Arkansas. So they ain't nothing but ex-football D1 motherfuckers up in there. And they all go downstairs. And I had one of my servers, and she, you got to have the best motherfucker doing the job. See, that's the other thing people do. They don't put the right people in play, then they be mad because they put the wrong motherfucker in the play, right? Like, you got to always know who can do that shit. So I had I had TT. She's Jamaican, beautiful, young hustler. I said, TT, you are going to specifically focus on Ray. You're going to serve everyone else, but you're going to come down here and you're going to serve Ray. And it's on the house. Because I had that kind of like play and pull to just, the bartenders worked with me because everyone knew that I was going to work their tips in there. So they get down, and I ain't never squeeze my bartenders or servers, be like, hey, give me 30% of that shit. And if I was smart, I did, but I would never do that shit because that's they working on tips, you know. So I'd be like, she came down. I think Ray Lewis tipped her like $200-$300, some shit like that. And he's serving him wine. He's smoking his stogies, and he's telling us all kinds of stories. He said the athlete that inspired him the most ever to play football was Michael Jordan. He said, because I wanted to be like Michael. He said, this is why Michael Jordan is always going to be better than LeBron James. You heard it here first. He said, because LeBron James was a ring chaser. Michael Jordan stayed with the Bulls during the bullshit times. He said, you don't think people came to me and said, man, Ray, leave the Ravens and come play with me. You can be on a champ. We already getting a championship this year. He said, what I did was focus on Eddie George. He said, that's my white whale, Eddie George. So then he said, I would focus on trying to get past the Titans, Steve McNair and Eddie George. Specifically Eddie George. He didn't even mention Steve McNair. Ain't that shit crazy? He's on Eddie George ass. He obsessed with Eddie George, my dude. And he said, I want to be like Michael Jordan and stay like Larry Bird did, like Isaiah Thomas, Dr. J. He said, that's how the motherfuckers was then, and that's what I want to be like. He said, yes, LeBron James is great. He said, but LeBron James had to go to the land of Oz to find his home in Kansas. You feel me? So he had to go to Miami in order to bring back a championship to Cleveland. He had to develop that mental state of what it, because it ain't easy winning rings. You can get to the dance, it's hard to win the dance. So this is Coco, y'all. This motherfucker here is like a little pine mark.
How many you got, man? How many cats you got?
3. I have a home.
We met them all tonight.
You have. I have an upstairs, downstairs. So I'm not just sitting in one hovel with like an old, you know, grandmother or something like that. It's cool, man. They cool. I keep them
green, man.
Yeah.
You did. They look lovely, man. But the green, man, we gonna have to wrap up, man. Dave gonna have to get off, and man, we could go all night with you, man. But you know, like I said, it's all love.
We can talk about my acting career. Hope you back. I am on a Showtime series.
No, that's what I'll say. We gonna get you back on soon. We gonna get you back on soon because Dave brought up. He wanted me to ask you about the time you met Keanu Reeves, but we gonna save that for your next appearance with us, man.
Oh, that's the best one, my dude. That's the best story. That's the best story. Yes, please have me back for that because you would fucking trip out.
We gonna have you back on real soon because look. There's so many stuff. I won't talk to you about what you're doing more recently, but I want to talk to you. I want to get more stories about Chicago hip hop. I want to get more stories about the Shrine. So I'm definitely gonna get you back on as soon as possible.
You know the 6 Degrees of Separation with Keanu Reeves is the show that I was on Showtime. Lily Wachowski, who produced The Matrix, was my producer for the show. Was the producer for the show that I was on. My first TV gig. Isn't that crazy? Small world. There you go.
Yep. That's hey, you doing it, man. You doing it.
I'm working, man. I'm working. COVID tried to cock block me, but we're gonna get it together. We'll be all right, man. It's cock blocking us also, so I ain't complaining, man. We all running this race.
And that's the thing, man. I know we would have ran into each other, man. If it weren't for this COVID stuff, we'd have been ran into each other probably this past year, man. So again, man, I'm just real glad to know that you're doing well and that I'm really happy that you made time for me and Dave to jump on with us, man. And we'll like I said, we gonna get you back on real soon and do some. I just want to hear you tell more stories, bro.
No doubt, man. Hey, happy birthday to Doom, man. It's midnight, right? So like,
yes, sir.
celebrate him, man. We celebrate his life, man, and yeah, man, because he got me through a lot of shit this summer too. I had 4 cats and one passed away, and I was listening to basically him and Mass Ace Doom, you know, and I was listening to both of those in my drives.
Yeah, that's a great project too. What's your favorite Doom related project, right quick?
I don't know, man. Because it's not like
you can't pick one out.
Maybe I guess I like King Ghidorah a lot, you know. As far as like maybe Victor Vaughn, I probably like that a hell of a lot. You know, it's hard because it's like it's like I got a lot of songs each album that I love rocking, and not necessarily the whole album beginning to end. Mad Villainy. I mean, it's hard, man, because it's like I got a lot of shit I like by him. Oh, I got maybe Danger Doom. I really been listening to that a lot lately.
We about to mention all of them. See, I'm with you, man. It's like, you know, it depends. A lot of it depends on your mood and stuff. You know, it's real.
I don't know, man. Ain't this the emoji?
But they about to sign off, though, man. Yeah.
One love, y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
They about to sign off, though, man.
Take it easy, man. One love.
All right.
Y'all be cool. Happy New Year.
Yeah, but great. It's all love, bro, man. We go. Like I said, we'll definitely keep in touch, man. Like I said, we'll get you back on the show real soon, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. We'll wrap, man. I know the interview's over, but I appreciate you, man. And just have me back, man. Hit me up, and we'll reconvene and start to try use up all y'all time. But that's kind of what it does, man. You know.
Nah, we had a great time, bro. We had a great time.
I thank you.
Take care of the kiddies, man.
I promise, man. They eat too good, man. I better, goddammit. Thank you, man. God bless.
All right, man. I'll holler at you soon, bro.
God bless you.
God bless. Yes.